people were killed and over 26 injured at an outdoor music festival in Las Vegas Strip nearly at about a few hours ago. 12 people are reported to be in an extremely critical condition. Police sources say there could be at least 2 shooters with automatic weapons in the area who opened fire at the revelers.
Yet of what the motive might be.
No indication at all at this point, George. They're tracking down potential names of the shooter. They have a name they're working on. They're not certain yet if it's the actual name, but they are checking that out. They will
guy with a weapon on the balcony shooting, all those type of things. Eyewitness, information is the absolute key in both stopping these things and also making sure you don't have any other shooters, which it appears we don't at this point.
That's what we think right now. Okay, Brad Garrett, thanks very much. I want to bring in our chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross, as well. And Brian, no positive identification yet of the shooter, no sign yet of what the motive might be.
No indication at all at this point, George. They're tracking down potential names of the shooter. They have a name they're working on. They're not certain yet if it's the actual name, but they are checking that out. They will
guy with a weapon.
Connections with anyone overseas, or what was his background, what may have led him to take this action today. And George, you and Brad were talking, an AK-47 on full automatic could fire off 600 rounds a minute. Each magazine holds about 30 rounds in it, and it sounds, according to weapons experts who've heard these chilling audios overnight, the tapes, that this was a person who reloaded several times, had magazines, and was able to do that, of course, locked in a hotel room with nobody to stop him.
And so far, no claims of responsibility on the internet.
Nothing like that at all, George, and we're checking, but so far, nothing at this point. Las Vegas police, Clark County Sheriff, they have trained for potential terror attacks. They've always thought that Las Vegas could be a target. Al-Qaeda and ISIS have claimed they'll attack Las Vegas at some point, but at this point we have no claims of responsibility. And this scenario, shooting at a crowd from high above on the 32nd floor, was not one they had trained for.
Not one we'd heard about before. Okay, Brian Ross, thanks very much. I want to bring in our senior justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, as well. And Pierre, federal authorities already on the scene, ATF?
ATF, FBI offering their assistance, and this is the worst case scenario that they've been concerned about for quite some time, George. A group of people congregated en masse at a hotel, at a
shooting there, news coming in where mass casualties are being reported in a Mandalay Bay shooting at night. There were several revelers there. This was a music concert where news is that at least 2 people have been killed, 24 others have been injured in this event at the Las Vegas concert over there. It is believed that there was a gunman who opened fire in open air this music festival at the Mandalay Bay Hotel on the main strip of Las Vegas. There were hundreds of people who were gathered over there. Many news reports that are coming in. Let's dip in live.
That eyewitness, Michelle Leonard, talking about people, her friends, walking by multiple dead on the ground. So far, only 2.
We're hearing anecdotally, George, that there are multiple victims down, fatalities. We're hearing of body bags, and that man that I spoke to, who's still sitting right next to us here, Mike Kronk from Alaska, said that he was in a truck that was evacuating some of the wounded, and a man died in his arms. Others are talking about, as Michelle Leonard said, just wounded. So maybe those people were simply unconscious. Maybe they can be stabilized. Right now, hospital officials are still saying those 2 fatalities, 26 wounded, 12 of them in critical condition. And again, when you hear that staccato of gunfire, that rapid-fire automatic, you can understand why we're hearing of victims with multiple gunshot wounds. And what these small caliber rifle rounds do is they essentially ricochet inside the body. They're not initially meant to kill someone. What they're meant is to cause maximum damage inside, to literally rattle around inside someone's body, making it harder to stabilize them and to save them once medical personnel get to them. And that's why some of this stuff is so damaging. We don't know how many rounds were fired, but clearly multiple eyewitnesses are telling us that the shooter had a time to fire full clips, reload, fire again, reload, and fire again. So you think about 30 rounds a clip, at least 3 reloads. That's at least 90 rounds, possibly 100 rounds. We're not exactly sure. But obviously dozens of rounds fired into a crowd of people, densely packed, thousands of them crowding the stage, and you can imagine what kind of chaos and carnage that could have created, George.
Matt, try and describe what this setting was like. We see the hotels there surrounding where the concert was. Just to lay out where the people were, how many were in that concert, and what they were surrounded by.
The concert venue itself is really in the shadow of the Mandalay Bay Hotel, which you see right behind me. Now, the Mandalay essentially overlooks the airport, which is why we heard reports of people scattering into the runways and some chaos at the airport. And beneath it is a giant squared-off place. It was fenced off, and within that was the concert stage and those tens of thousands of people at this venue. Now, this is a country music festival. There are tens of thousands of people here attending it from all over the country, from Canada, from Alaska, and thousands of people. But, George, let's go to that briefing right now, which is about to start. We've been waiting to hear word from Las Vegas police, and we believe it's coming right now.
Okay, thanks, Matt. We are going to tune in right there. Let's listen.
Well, good evening. Obviously, County, and I'm here to talk to you about the tragic event that's taken place and is currently taking place at the Mandalay Bay out on the Las Vegas Boulevard South. We experienced an active shooter situation approximately 10:08 p.m. tonight, this evening. We had calls come into dispatch of multiple shots being fired from the direction of the Mandalay Bay towards the Route 91 concert that was taking place on the east side of Las Vegas Boulevard. Through investigation and response, we determined there was a shooter on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay. Officers responded to that location and engaged the suspect at that location. He is dead currently. He has been identified. He is a local resident. I will not release his name at this time, but we are interested in a companion that is traveling with him, and her name is, and I will provide you the name, so please be accurate on this, is Mary Lou Danley, M-A-R-I-L-O-U, last name spelled D-A-N-L-E-Y. She is a Asian female, approximately 4'11", 4'11", weight of 111 pounds. We have not located her at this time, and we are interested in talking to her for follow-up. 2 vehicles we're interested in locating, and we need your assistance with that. We have a Hyundai Tucson with Nevada plate 114 Baker 40 B40, and a Chrysler Pacifica Touring Nevada plate 19D401. These are the plates registered to the suspect that we located at the Mandalay Bay. So there's a couple of things that need to occur at this time. One is the Red Cross is responding to the headquarters here at the police department at 400 South Martin Luther King to receive any phone calls from family members who are trying to locate their family that attended the concert and aren't unable to contact them. So that number will be established here shortly, and we'll get it out to you to publicize it here shortly. Additionally, anybody that may have cell phone video or any type of video associated with this event that would be a benefit to the investigation, please respond to the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department headquarters at 400 South Martin Luther King, and we will take custody of that video. So if you have it, you evaluate it, and you think it would be a benefit, please bring that down to the headquarters. So family members, if you are unable to call or you do not want to wait for a call and you want to respond in person, we have set up a family retreat area for you to respond so we can help you locate your loved ones here at the headquarters. So you will be contacted by a police officer here at the headquarters, and they will direct you to where you need to go. Standing with me is
all right, the police here in Las Vegas giving us an account of what really happened over there. This was a live shooter at the Mandalay Bay who has now been neutralized. With that, some other news.